All right, hi everyone, this is Heather from Heather Active. We're going to start off today with a nice easy warm-up to mobilize our joints and get ready for a workout. So you're going to start lying down on your back on the mat here. So we want to make sure those legs are nice and hip distance apart. You should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips here and just relax those shoulders down. So we're going to start off with a little bit of spine mobility work. So as you exhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis up so that low back presses down into the mat. And then inhale, come back so you have a little bit of space between your low back and the mat. So we're just going to rock the pelvis up and down a few times. Just starting to massage that low back. Just start to feel if there's any little sticky bits here in either direction. And as you do this, we're thinking about engaging the low abs. So that space between those front two hip points should tighten as you tilt up and then release as you come back down. Let's do two more. And last one, tilting up and then lowering back down. From here, we're going to go into a hip mobility movement. So we're going to start with that left leg. Open the knee out to the side, then extend the left leg long on your mat, turn it back to parallel, and then bend the knee, drag that foot back in. So we're doing external rotation, extending the leg back to neutral in parallel, and then draw that foot back in. So let's do a few like this. This is a nice one to open up those hips. I find it's always a good one to start with for any Pilates workout. It's also nice if you're like me and sit at a desk a lot. It's a good way just to open up those hips. Let's do one more this direction. Nice. Then we're going to switch directions. So we're going to extend that leg straight out, externally rotate the entire leg in that hip socket, bend the knee, and then turn it back in. Let's do that a few more times. Extending out, turning that leg out, bending in. Good. Let's do two more. You should already be feeling that left hip working out here. Good. Let's switch to the other side. So same idea. We're opening the right leg out to the side, extending the leg long on the mat, turning back in, and then bending in that knee. Good. And just keeping those shoulders nice and relaxed as we flow through this. Very good. Do one more this direction. And then switching directions, extending that leg straight out, turning the leg out, externally rotating, bending the knee, and turning it back in. If you want a little bit of tactical feedback to make sure your hip isn't swaying around too much, you can always take your hand on that left hip here. Make sure it's nice and stable. We'll do one more like this. Good. And coming back in here. Very nice. So hips are starting to feel a little more warm. We'll do a couple upper body mobility motions as well. So we're going to reach those hands up towards the ceiling, palms facing in together. And then from here, without moving anything else in our low body, we're going to reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades are going to spread apart. And then we're going to plug those shoulders back down and arms come down. Now we're reaching up towards the ceiling and then plugging the shoulders down. Nice. So here we're isolating all those muscles around the scapula. And this is a good one just to start mobilizing your shoulder and working on some of those stabilizing muscles as well. Nice. I always like to do this one, especially if we're doing any work on all fours, hands and knees. We're doing planks. It's a nice one to start with without putting too much resistance on, but still starting to wake up those muscles. Good. Let's do one more like this. Reaching up, plugging those shoulders back down. We're going to float that right arm behind us and left arm down by your hip. Exhaling, bring both up through center and then switching sides. So making a big scissor motion with the arms here. Again, that lower body is perfectly still. And then start to pay a little bit more attention here to those ribs. We want to make sure they don't start flaring out. So think about knitting the ribs in together as you do this movement. Starting to engage the core a little bit more. We're just working on that range of motion through the shoulders here. Very good. Let's do one more each side. Last one. Coming back up, bringing those arms back up. We're going to bring the elbows down straight out from your shoulder to make a little goalpost shape. So those palms are facing forwards. And then just rotating at the elbow, we're going to bring the palms of the hands down towards the floor. And then slowly lifting up and rotating them back towards the floor. Nice. I'll try not to bump into these very beautiful fall leaves here. Good, and don't worry too much about touching the floor in either direction. You might find one arm could feel easier than the other to move through this, or one direction feels easier. Just focus on your own range of motion here and moving nice and slow, like you're moving through molasses or something. Good, let's do one more each direction. Last one. Very good. Bring those arms down by your side. Hug the knees into your chest for a moment. We have those hands on our thighs here. I'll just do a couple circles with those legs bent. Good. Very nice. And switching directions of that circle. Excellent. Hugging those knees into your chest. Tuck your head in like you're a little ball and just start rolling up and back, finding a few of these little rolls here. Coming back up, and you are all done with your mobility warm-up. See you soon.